Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now, in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you a non-woo-woo guide to spiritual awakening. Now, I'm not discounting the idea of the spiritual aspects of it and those kind of perspectives. All I'm saying is that I believe in making things very simple and very practical so that we can really apply it and relate to it in a powerful way. So this is my explanation of it, of understanding what that is and how we can get ourselves to a point of becoming more aware of who we are and more conscious of the beliefs that are creating the reality within which we live. So that is going to be what this video is about. I'm going to kind of give you my experience with that, but explain it in a way to where we can actually apply it. So first off, I had my awakening about 5 years ago. It's been about 5 years now. And when I went through it, it completely changed just about everything about me. The way that I define myself, I kind of saw the beliefs that I had and how those created the kind of experiences that I had. Like it was a reflection for me. I could see the beliefs that I had to the kind of things I was experiencing in life. And once I became aware of that, and then also I started to meditate. And when I started to meditate, it started to change the way that I felt. I started to really get into like this level of being present to the moment. I learned how to observe my thoughts rather than react to them. And when I realized that I wasn't the thoughts I was thinking, that's when everything started to speed up. Like I started to have more and more of these kind of realizations. And this video is going to kind of explain the different layers to this, of how we can get ourselves to raise our level of consciousness and to awaken to more of who we are meant to be. Now, to explain this concept in general, I'm going to use a chart that I've used before, and it's a chart from a book called The Power versus Force, or just Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. And in this book, he talks about different states of consciousness in the form of a scale that moves from the lowest level to the highest level. And then what we can do is understand how each of these levels has a self-perpetual belief system or self-perpetual thought processes that keep us in little loops based on those levels of consciousness, and how we can learn to transcend those to then awaken into more of who we are meant to be. Now, first off, let's look at the scale. We have shame, guilt, and anger kind of towards the bottom. In the middle, we'll have more of the emotions of willingness, of reason, and then a breakthrough happens again at the level of love when we start to embody the consciousness of love, which is kind of what this awakening is about, is getting to that state of consciousness. And then you have joy, peace, and enlightenment towards the top. Now, the idea is that you move up and down this scale through life experience, but once we get to certain levels, it becomes kind of like ways that we can more easily maintain certain levels of consciousness. So once we become awakened, it's like we get to a level to where we embody more of the higher emotional states of being than the lower more of the time, even though we'll sometimes dip going up and going down. Now, understand that there are different levels to awakening, but one of the powerful and most common one is becoming aware of what we are thinking and what we are experiencing. So it's the simple correlation between the thoughts that we're thinking to the kind of ways that we're feeling to the kind of things we're experiencing in our life. Now, just to kind of wrap this up, I'd say that a powerful realization to have is that our beliefs are creating our reality. So what we believe to be true about ourselves is constantly being perpetuated and attracting or seeing the reflection in life of those reflections of how we feel on the inside. So when we become aware of this, we can start to get signs. Now, to take the woo-woo out of it, there's a lot of people that will see the numbers 1111 or to see synchronicity. Synchronicity and seeing 1111 is a natural side effect of the idea that we are creating our own reality through our beliefs and through what we focus on. It's just a side effect. Now, the meaning that we give it will depend upon how we think and the way that we process it. So we can give meaning to the idea of 1111. Even at a conscious level, a mass consciousness level, there can be many, many people that say 1111 means this, 666 means this, and all these number synchronizations. But really, it's just a natural side effect of the idea that the only moment that exists is this moment right now, and what we perceive is going to be a reflection of the idea that we are aware of it. So we are aware of the idea that everything is a reflection. We are aware of the idea that our beliefs are creating our reality, and whatever we focus on grows. So the power in this, and really the funny thing about it, is that those signs were always there, always when we were growing up. We just weren't perceiving it because we didn't have the awareness, or we weren't aware of it in that moment. So it's always been there. It's just that we are now tuned to it because we are in alignment with who we are. We are in alignment with what we're learning more about ourselves, and that is where the process really begins. So 11:11, synchronicity, all of these things happening is just a natural side effect of the process of you becoming in alignment with who you are and you raising up those levels of consciousness. Now, you notice that each level of consciousness has a certain frame, has a certain way of thinking, and once we get up to a level of like willingness or a level of reasoning, that's when we're really tapped into knowing that we create our own reality through understanding why we experience what we do. And most likely, if you are at that place already and you kind of see how that could be, that is a level of reasoning. Now, the way that we break through the level of reasoning and get to a level of consciousness of love is by dropping the intellectual ideas. And this was important, especially for me, because for a period of time, and a lot of what this channel is about understanding these concepts to empower us. But really, the real power is in letting go of all the intellectual ideas and becoming completely immersed into who we are. Become and realize that we are more vast than just this experience. This is about seeing things in a holistic point of view. When you start to embody the idea of love, or not even the idea, the feeling of love, it comes from understanding that everybody that you see outside of yourself is a reflection of you. You start to see things in holistic type ways. So rather than seeing everybody else as that is you, that is you, that is you, this is me, that is you, this is me, instead of seeing things and labeling them, you become more aware that everything is holistic, meaning everybody is a reflection of each other, and therefore it's so much easier to forgive people because you're really just forgiving yourself. You're really letting it go because you realize that if you hold on to any of the lower emotional states of being, you are only perpetuating it within yourself. You are holding on to that state of being, that state of consciousness, and if you let it go, you then begin to love yourself more, and consequently, you also begin to love other people more. So this is about understanding that we are all connected, that the only thing that separates us from each other is the labels we have in our mind, is the characteristics that we give to different people, and when we begin to loosen up those barriers, when we begin to understand that we're all connected, there's a new level of understanding, and there's a new level of feeling, because we start to actually have an ability to love people from a much deeper place. So the whole process of awakening is about becoming more aware of who we are and understanding that we're not the effect, we are the cause. We are constantly putting meaning as to what things mean in our life. We are constantly having certain beliefs, even on autopilot, that are perpetuating the experiences we have. And when we begin to become aware of all of these, we then begin to take control of our life, because we are then having control over our state of being and choosing consciously what we choose to experience. So coming to that level of reasoning, which is right under the idea of love, we can then drop the intellectual ideas, realize that we're all connected, that based upon who we are being in this moment is going to be the reflection that we get in our life, so we can simply just choose to be who we prefer to be. When we begin to do that, and one of the strongest acts of self-love is just completely doing what you love to do. When you do what you love to do, what you are really doing is giving your gift to the world. There is nobody that is exactly like you, and by you doing what you're excited about, you are actually taking action on showing and expressing your self-love. And the funny part of that is that then more people are inspired to do what they love just through your example. So that is a sign that you're getting more and more into who you are. It's a sign if you're starting to see the different levels of understanding your belief, creating the kind of experiences that you're having, the law of attraction, or just being noticed and aware of that correlation. If you're seeing 11:11, you're seeing synchronicity, it's just a natural side effect of who you are. It's always been there. It's just that now you're tuned to it because you're in alignment with who you are. So That's the power that there is. You just knowing who you are. It's classic saying, to know thyself. When you begin to know that all you are is love, that all everybody else that you see is love, we begin to drop the labels, attachment to ideologies, attachment to the lower levels of consciousness. We then begin to actually embody who we are meant to be. So I hope this helps you understand a little bit more about awakening, taking the woo-woo-ness out of it, understanding it's much more relatable, and that's how we can make it to be. So with that being said, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it, share it if you found it of value, and as always, I'll see you guys on the next video. Peace, much love, namaste. All right, bye.